Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, place where I discuss different topics. I present different things like, well, deep introspection, psychology at times, um, well, game design, but usually I speak about spirituality. I know I'm not in the best mood necessarily for this, but um, for now I simply won't mind it. I will present a short video and, well, my opinion basically on a topic that I haven't, well, considered for a long time, and this one is called scanning. Okay, scanning people or the such. I've happened to stumble across a new Discord group in which I had a discussion with some people, and some of them were talking about scanning other people, and that came to me as a bit awkward in the sense of why would I be interested in scanning other people? Because scanning other people, you never know what you get. Plus, scanning other people is not something that you should play with, because scanning other people also involves getting inflicted with some of their unwanted energy, okay? And scanning other people is like touching them at range. Now, in the Eastern societies, there is a term called runanubanda, and apparently this means that any touch with another person can actually create a bond with them, a link with them, a link that can actually haunt you for a very long time, if not for your whole life or even several other lives afterwards. So the point is, just a simple touch to another person can actually get you really screwed, but of course chances aren't necessarily big. But considering that no one teaches people how to handle their minds and their emotions and their energy and their psychological aspect of life, the problem is that many people end up screwing themselves because uncontrolled emotions and mind alone can cause a lot of psychological damage, okay? Because uncontrolled mind mainly can lead to people perceiving different illusions as reality. So when people get into illusions, they kind of are far away from their they are moving further and further away from their own authenticity. So therefore it is kind of bound to well, let's see, well, suffering is kind of bound to appear. So the point about scanning is you don't know exactly what you will be getting about people. Scanning people isn't necessarily about getting a present day result. Now I know there are many sources out there, like, things like this, aura imaging and the such, and people don't realize that scanning the aura never will ever reveal you something about the present of the person. The aura of a person is something that represents their past, okay? It can represent their past lives in a way, or a certain amount of karma that they have inherited, but you won't know for sure, or you will have to take a really long time to realize where that how to call it, oh yes, where that karma was taken from. Could be family, could be, like anything else. So the point is, well, it could be from anyone, it could be them having caused it. So the point about this, okay, the aura imaging and scanning a certain person, is don't play with illusions greater than yourself, okay? Now, why I'm saying that yourself is an illusion is because the self is a persona that you create. Thinking that you can scan people and instantly get some results is like playing a very silly game in a certain way, because you're using other people's logics, okay? Most likely this logic doesn't belong to you. You most likely have seen some people who may scan some people, but as I wanted to say, scanning doesn't give you a present day result, okay? Because let's take it like this: when you scan the sun, okay, what you're getting is a result that is 8 minutes behind reality, because in order to scan the sun, you are scanning actually the light that comes towards you. When you're seeing someone's aura, okay, you're scanning something that you're anyway several, I don't know, let's say 1 second or two before this reality, okay? Because that light might take a second to reach your eye, then the brain may need around 1 second to process it, okay? And psychological analysis may take around one other second. So what you're seeing the end result of the images that you're seeing is technically 2 or 3 seconds already in the past. Okay. Now, if you ask people who are very aware of the subtleties of life and some of the, greater depths of existence, most likely they will tell you don't bother with the aura, okay? Because the aura is nothing else than even further away from the person itself. Now, the person itself is nothing else than a construct that is created so that a being can actually, exist and live, okay? In order to believe something, a belief means incorporating something within you. It's like you're turning an idea into a plugin that you're keeping within you, and well, at the same time, you can give it up anytime you want, but many people kind of create a lot of silly attachments. And once they are convinced, again, conviction is nothing else than a stronger belief, and a belief is nothing else than accepting something without a necessity for proof. So the moment when you are theoretically, okay, convinced that you cannot give that up, your intellect will actually start fighting somewhat against you, because the purpose of the intellect, okay, that part of yourself, is like a little soldier. It will always fight for literally everything that you consider is yourself. Because in life you have to understand that you are who you are, but basically you are what you know. Because what you don't know and you heard from other people is again just a belief. You might have some impression that it clicks with you, but the point of something clicking with you, it's again something that may be from the past. Okay, this illusion of deja vu is very persistent in a lot of people. Okay, now the idea of deja vu triggers simply because there is something in your past that you have experienced, and most likely in this life. Okay, in very few situations it will be something from a past life. Okay, people won't get access to their past lives so easily. Okay, the Akashic records can't be accessed that easily, not even accidental. Okay, if people take drugs and the such, well, yes, a small accidental tapping of that may happen, but once you are in such a so-called transcendental state, you're probably not gonna remind much when you wake up. You might see some images and the such, and you're probably gonna easily fool yourself that that's something regarding a past life, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a past life. It's just easy to be imagination, because imagination is very powerful and will always remain the most powerful force within you, because imagination is nothing else than life force. If you want to bypass that, well, the only way you will bypass that is to simply strip yourself of all your life energy, and therefore you will have no more imagination. Once you have no more imagination, then you will know everything you'll see is actually, let's call it, true. Okay, but still it will be true for you because you will perceive it in the way your body was meant to perceive it. Okay, or any other of your energy bodies as well, because your mental body has a certain capacity to perceive certain things, but other people's mental bodies will most likely perceive them in different ways. So all this being said, don't play with your mind. Okay, what you're seeing in other people is not their present. Okay, now someone actually told in that chat that they sense a lot of sadness from me. Don't try to scan me, because you're gonna be met with a lot of erroneous devices results actually, and those aspects of me, there will always be illusory. Okay, I know I'm not easy to scan because, well, no one is actually easy to scan, and I know I've made a real grinchy mess out of that, so that to make sure people won't even bother doing that. The point with scanning people shows nothing else than your shallowness. Okay, because you are trying to cheat your way towards a certain person, but at the same time you're doing nothing else than a childish play. Okay, you are assuming that you know things about a certain person just because you got a grasp of some of their so-called auric information. But the problem is, once you get a grasp of that, you've already inflicted yourself with that, because scanning people requires a long series of tedious protection rituals. Okay, and at sometimes that those protection rituals might not even work, because, well, energy contamination is not something that you can easily predict. Okay, that is why Reiki practitioners are very few. The ones who really know how to do things, they are very few, and that is why many people may start up Reiki, but may not necessarily do anything with it, just like I am. Okay, I'm using Reiki only for myself because I'm not too confident of my ability to keep myself away from other people's energy. Also, I know that I'm not a brimming star like most other people think about themselves. I know that I'm a black hole, so this way is kind of the pathway towards becoming a full-fledged alchemist, but still there is some work to do on that. So the point about this is, well, don't try to mess with things that really are of little to no importance, okay? When you're studying this, it's like you're studying the residual wastes of a planet. You're just studying something which is even beyond its own atmosphere, okay? If you want to find out things about a person, just spend time talking with that person. If you are introspective enough, you will understand a lot of things about that person just by judging their voice. Well, better said, not judge, because many people will mistake this and will probably misinterpret this in a very hideous way. But the point is, just listen to people, and all the information you need will be there within you. Now, depending on the level of self-knowledge, you will get a hold of that information sooner or later. In my case, it's somewhat easy to understand people just by listening to their voice. Of course, this doesn't always happen because, well, I know if it doesn't happen, I just have nothing to share with that person. It's one of the ways that I can understand a certain amount of life. So, is actually, energy scanning any good? Well, besides inflicting yourself with that, I can't call it good, okay? Because the only way you can scan the sun is by actually perceiving its light, okay? That light is information, it is energy, so it is some waveform. It is energy, so it is therefore information, right? So technically you're inflicting yourself with the rays of the sun, right? Now, of course, let's not take the rays of the sun as something bad, but again, the rays of the sun have a lot of energy that you may simply not take. Just go out in space and presuming that you won't, like even if you are in a spacesuit, okay? Even if you are in a spacesuit, it's not gonna be good because the information that the sun sends you is not gonna be 100% helpful to you. The only reason that we live is because the planet shields us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun, right? So energy reading, I wouldn't recommend it unless people are specifically trained by some very knowledgeable people. Many people find it very easy to fool themselves that no, they are special, nothing happens to them. Well, good luck then, but if you're really interested in becoming a trash bin of other people's energies, just go ahead, okay? I'm simply not mingling with other people's energies because I know I'm a black hole. Everything that people throw towards me, I know it's not gonna escape me, okay? It's never gonna escape my grasp. That's why I will always know forever anything I will get to know about other people. But again, things get simply processed within and a lot of unwanted filth is thrown outside. So if you want to scan me, be very careful because you might find you're actually scanning hundreds of leftovers from other people, okay? Now, how this system of a black hole works, well, I'm not interested in diving into that because the point is it's doing me what I need, okay? So therefore I don't need to try to understand it because if I let the mind any control over it, it will just want to make it work better for itself. So aura imaging and the such, unless people get some kind of very thorough information and knowledge about how the energy system works and how energy itself works and can spread from one to another, I simply wouldn't recommend it. Okay, now I'm not forbidding people. Everyone is free to try whatever they want, but all this being said, hopefully you like this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to share your wisdom with me. Feel free to present your opinion and also share things with me. I don't mind learning from others. As well as I don't mind teaching others. So all this being said, you're loved and appreciated. Take care of yourself. Feel free to share my wisdom with others in case you think it will actually help them. There are some situations in which There are certain situations in which people may simply disregard you just because you are close to them. It kind of happens, so in those situations, feel free to guide them towards any other people you might find uh, capable of guiding them or helping them. All this being said, take care. You are more than good enough. You are loved and appreciated. Ferenc Board signing out.